When dealing with the police, it's important to know your rights and responsibilities, as well as how to interact in a way that minimizes risk and ensures a smooth process. While the specific procedures can vary depending on the jurisdiction and the situation, here are some general guidelines to follow when interacting with law enforcement. Stay calm and respectful. Keep your composure. Always stay calm and don't escalate the situation. Raising your voice or being argumentative can make things worse. Be polite. Address officers respectfully. Even if you feel you're being treated unfairly, remain composed. Know your rights. Right to remain silent. You have the right to remain silent, and you are not obligated to answer any questions that could incriminate you. Politely say, "I choose to remain silent," if you wish to exercise this right. Right to an attorney. If you're being questioned in a serious matter or arrested, you have the right to request a lawyer. Once you ask for one, they must stop questioning you until the lawyer is present. Right to refuse a search. In many cases, the police cannot search your home, car, or personal belongings without a warrant or your consent. If they ask for permission, you have the right to say no, unless they have probable cause or an emergency. Understand what's happening. If you're stopped or detained, ask if you're being detained or free to leave. If you're not being detained or arrested, you can ask if you are free to go. If you're arrested, officers are required to inform you of the charges against you. You also have the right to know why you're being arrested. Providing identification is important. If the police ask for identification, you are typically required to provide it. This can include a driver's license, passport, or another government-issued ID. However, there are some situations where you don't need to provide your ID, like if you're not in a public space or if you're simply being questioned. Now, let's talk about searches. If an officer does not have a warrant, they can only search you or your property if they have probable cause or if you consent to the search. It's important to be polite but firm if you do not wish to consent. A clear statement like, "I do not consent to a search," can be very useful. If an officer has a valid search warrant, you must allow them to search your property. Finally, don't resist arrest. Even if you believe the arrest is unjustified, avoid the temptation to physically resist. Resisting can lead to more charges or escalate the situation. If you feel you're being treated unfairly, save that argument for court. In many places, you have the right to record interactions with the police as long as it doesn't interfere with their duties. However, you should make the officer aware that you're recording to avoid potential misunderstandings. While you can record, you must stay at a safe distance and not interfere with their work. Obstructing an officer's duties can lead to charges. When questioned by police, you generally have to provide basic identification info, like your name and address, but you are under no obligation to answer questions that could incriminate you. You can politely refuse to answer by stating that you wish to remain silent. If you are detained, police may temporarily detain you if they have reasonable suspicion that you have committed a crime or are about to commit one. During a detention, you are not free to leave, but the police must have a legitimate reason. If you are arrested, the police must have probable cause to arrest you. Once arrested, they must inform you of your rights, like Miranda rights in the United States, and the charges against you. If you are given a ticket or citation, sign the ticket. In some cases, officers may issue a citation, for example, a traffic violation. Signing the ticket is not an admission of guilt, but simply a promise to appear in court or pay the fine. Refusing to sign can result in an arrest. Handling police in high-stress situations can be tricky. Don't make sudden movements. Sudden movements or reaching into your pockets can make officers nervous. Keep your hands visible and avoid sudden actions. Avoiding confrontation is key. If the situation starts escalating, try to de-escalate by speaking calmly and respectfully. If you feel unsafe, you may be able to request a supervisor. After an encounter, document the encounter. If you feel your rights were violated or you were treated unfairly, document as much as possible about the encounter, like the officer's badge number, name, time, and location. If necessary, File a formal complaint with the police department. Seek legal advice. If you believe your rights were violated, you may want to consult an attorney for guidance on how to proceed. Key takeaways: stay calm, polite, and cooperative, but assertive in knowing your rights. Avoid physical confrontation or resistance. You can ask if you're free to leave if you're not under arrest or being detained. You have the right to remain silent, refuse searches unless they have a warrant, and request an attorney if arrested. Document the interaction and seek legal advice if necessary. Every situation can differ depending on local laws, the nature of the encounter, and the behavior of the officers involved, but following these general principles can help ensure your rights are protected.